Hi, in this demonstration I want to show you how to use new latest feature for sleeping objects called dead objects. Here, this checkbox. So to show how it works, I will use this bunch of fragments. As you can see, there's 900 of objects. I will use them as sleeping objects. Also, I will use pre-animated pyramid. As you can see, simple animation. I will add it as kinematic object here. And also I will use ground object as static object. So first simulation I will create without dead object feature on, so I'll just keep it off. I'll go to physics and create simulation. So this is what you can get without dead object feature on. Sleeping objects will start simulate right after first impact. So as you can see, all of them start falling down. And sometimes this is not affect what you want to create. So I will stop the simulation. And now I will turn on this dead object feature. When this feature is on, all static, kinematic, and dynamic objects just gently push all dead objects, but they do not fall. To better understand how it works, it's just easier to see. So this feature is on, and this is what I can get using creating simulation. As you can see, fragments do not fall, and this pyramid just gently pushes them along its way. Pretty interesting results. So I'll stop simulation, and this is what I have now. Okay. There's another way to use this feature to show what I will use with also pre-animated Geosphere. So I will remove pyramid from the kinematic object list and add this Geosphere instead here. As you can see, this Geosphere already also has animation. Okay, I will delete simulation of fragments here. Okay, as you can see, this Geosphere also has animation, and in some points it interpenetrates with fragments. So this is another nice result which you can get. As you can see, it also gently pushes all fragments along its way, but they do not fall. So stop simulation. And another way to use this feature is with forces. So just again, I will remove this geosphere from this list and delete all animation from previous simulation. Now I will use this wind. So it also has simple animation, just like that. As you can see, its properties, it's spherical, and it has range indicator its own, so physics will use its range to decay. All I need to do is just add this wind, this force, in this physics simulation properties list here. And since all these fragments are in slipping object list, you need to check on this effect on inactive objects. Inactive and slipping, this is the same basically. Okay, so you can start simulation again. As you can see, it creates cracks along its way. If you want to, you can change actually strength or range, just like that. Try different properties. Pretty interesting result. And also as well, you can use negative strength. Okay, previously I showed you how to use dead objects feature with pre-animated kinematic objects and with forces. Now I want to show you how to use it with dynamic object. So here I have this ground. I will add it in as static here. I have this pre-animated dynamic object. Okay, so here's animation. I will add it in dynamic list here, and all these fragments I will add as slipping objects here. So now I'll go to physics here, and I will start simulation at frame 6, right at the middle of simulation of this fragment, or better actually at frame 10. Okay. Right now I will create simulation without dead objects feature on, just again to see how it works without this feature. And as you can see, there is nothing special. It hits, and as you can see, all fragments start falling. Okay, I will stop it. Okay, and now I will turn on this dead objects checkbox here and create simulation one more time. As you can see, it's dramatically differs from previous results. And the reason I used this ground is so, as you can see, it prevents this object from falling. Much more interesting result. Okay, I will delete this simulation. And if you want to change affection, the only way to do this is to change the mass of fragments or mass of this dynamic object, and you can change mass by changing its material. So right now it's dense rock and fragments dense rock as well. So let's say I will change fragments to, let's say, something, let's say lead, and I will get completely different. As you can see, it affected much less than previously. And vice versa. Or I can set here to, let's say, object to lead, and fragments, sorry, here. To lead, and fragments I will set to something less heavy, like porous rock. And if I will try one more time, result will be different again. As you can see, there's one object. So this is one limitation when you're using dead objects. You need to make sure that they will not move far from all other fragments. But still a very interesting result. Okay, now I want to show you how to use dead objects with interactive demolition. So I will use this pre-animated rock, and I want to throw this rock into this wall. So I will add it in dynamic list here, and this wall I will add in slipping list here, and this will be my ground. Okay, it's here. So to use it, I have to turn on dead objects feature here, and turn on demolish geometry here. Set some fragmentation properties for demolished object. Maybe make it less. Like this. Okay. So now I can start simulation. As you can see, if this rock hits slipping object which defined as dead object, all fragments also became dead after demolition. And this is the result. So this is a simple idea. If you have this feature on, it turns all slipping objects it turns all fragments of slipping objects into slipping fragments. If this feature is off, it will just demolish this wall. No, it even will not demolish because I have here porous rock. And if I will set here like brick, now it simply demolishes this wall. And if this feature on, all fragments turn to dead objects. Sometimes you may notice that some fragments push away from impact point, like this. As you can see, all these fragments move a little bit from impact point. To prevent this, you can simply increase collision tolerance here. Let's say 0.3. Try again. As you can see, this problem a bit decreased, so you can increase this even more to prevent it at all. Okay, now I want to show you how to use dead slipping feature with custom properties allowed. As you can see, you can define dead slipping feature for each object separately. I will use one more object in this setup, this cylinder. I will define it as slipping object as well. I will turn off dead objects because when you activate this checkbox here, it works for all objects in this list. So I will turn it off, and I will open custom properties allowed right here. Now I can select different objects and turn on custom properties for each of them. So I will select this wall, check on use custom properties button, and turn on this dead slipping checkbox. Also, you need to be sure that object is in slipping list, because if it's in another list, this will not work. It should be here, and the checkbox should be on. Also, I will use custom properties for the cylinder as well. As you can see, there's this brick material. In this case, it will work only for the cylinder, and I will use, let's say, steel for this cylinder. So the idea is when this rock will hit cylinder, it should demolish this wall, but should not be demolished on it. The cylinder should not be demolished. Okay. Now I can start simulation. So as you can see, both of this object, this wall and this cylinder, was in sleeping list, but the cylinder wasn't demolished because in its custom properties rollout I set it to steel and all metals cannot be demolished. And for this wall I said sleeping object, and even though this checkbox was off, it was all its fragments was sleeping. So we can separately define some sleeping objects as dead object, and after demolition the fragments also will be dead. So thanks for watching.